Hi, it's Rich from Weekend Golfers, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about loft on your driver. Now, there's plenty of drivers out there with different lofts on them. I've got two here. This one says it's a 10.5 degree loft. This one says 9 degree loft. So the angle on the 10.5 is obviously a little bit more this way, so the face is just going up to the sky a little bit more. So if I was going to hit this, I'd expect to see a higher ball flight on this. Now, if you do struggle with maybe cutting across the ball, you know, hitting it very low, I would suggest you go for a slightly higher loft on the club. This will certainly, you know, give it more hang time. You can certainly get a bigger carry distance as well. Long drive champions, all these sort of people who generate a huge amount of club head speed, they're probably using less loft. Okay, because they've got that club head speed, the ball takes off the club face at a higher speed and will travel a good distance. For the mere mortal, if your club head speed is a little bit too slow and you haven't got enough loft, it's never really going to get in the air at all. So you've got to make sure that you can try and match the loft to the amount of power and the speed you're creating in your swing itself. So you might have to play around a little bit with what loft you need to get the correct trajectory on your driver. Now, another thing to think about when you're looking at drivers is a lot of them nowadays, the manufacturers, they put weights or changeable weights in the head, or they even make the club in the beginning like either a draw bias or a fade bias. So a draw bias would probably, you'd look down at the club and it would literally look a little bit toed in, so it actually looks shut. Fade might look a little bit open. So they're trying to correct the faults in your swing by doing this. So basically they're saying, well, yeah, we know you've got a dodgy swing, and you're maybe don't want to work on it as much, and you want the ball to go straighter, so it's almost like a quick fix. Personally, I don't really like to rely on that, because, you know, then you get to the irons, they haven't got a draw or fade bias on them. So really, if you work on trying to, you know, fix your swing in the first place, you don't need to rely on the club so much to do that. So work on your swing and try and get that good, and then you'll be able to hit the driver no problem. So it can be a normal neutral position driver, no draw or fade bias, and then if you've got a good swing, if you needed to then try and control the ball and hit a draw or fade, it's probably possible that you could then go ahead and do that. If you've got a driver with a big draw bias and you suddenly want to hit a fade, it's maybe going to be quite tricky because the club's fighting against you. So personally, I'd go for a neutral driver. For most of you, probably a little bit more loft as well. Get your swing right and hit great drives.